guiding light is all I know. Through wood and steel, through fire and lace, I'm blessed to walk within your grace. Is to a throig arcane. You laid the path before me, you guided every step. Raise the hammer, string the bow, her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead time it's sore? We'll build the land, our hearts within. From dawn till dusk, I work, I strive. With your blessing, I'll survive. The loom, the forge, the sword, the grain in your name, I rise again. Got buad, got tolan, got trio. In you lies strength, in you lies skill. Each victory, each talent, each trial. No task too great, no skill too small. Your gifts, dear goddess, guide us all. Nights into force. Without your light, we have no guide, but with your hand, our place abides. Raise the hammer, string the bow, her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead? Our greatest deed, by the grace of the goddess we are free. We'll build the land, our hearts within. I'm blessed to walk within your grace. Blessed by her grace, forever, forever.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pax Dei, The Search for Steel. Tonight is episode 110, Foundations of Social Change. I gotta think of something by Friday to come up with another series and/or topic. There's plenty to talk about. However, in tonight's episode, we're gonna start out with a little housekeeping in Pax Dei, where I actually have the means to craft the Craftsman's Forge. Now, hopefully this is as big or smaller than the one I currently have, otherwise I don't know where I'm going to put it. So we're going to destroy the Forge and then add the Craftsman. What does this do in game terms? It gives me a little bit more menu selection. Alright, that red is not good. That works. Or does it? There's a certain degree. Man, I don't have enough room here. I'm gonna put it. That's where I wanted to put it. How much room do I have? Okay, so I will move Carpenter's Workbench. And I'll build the Carpenter's Workbench somewhere else. What I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm on the edge, but I'm not on the too far in off the edge, because if you're too far off the edge, the product that you place will not stay in this world. Looks like I can get away with that. All right, I'll deal with that. That's nice. Let's kind of take a look around. Definitely not getting removed because it's out of it. And then I just take this and I make my craftsman or my carpenter's bench. I'll probably just do this at this point. Where can I put the carpenter's bench? Here. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of seeking a spot as close as I can. And I'll build it out. And then whatever I have left over on materials, which seems to be a lot, I will put in the in a container where I can use it later. I don't think I can. Here. That's a lot of stuff. I can put these, definitely. And it looks like I can put those there as well. Everything else I really don't want to put in here. I try to stay somewhat organized. Doesn't mean I stay organized. But, you know, you try. And that's the important factor. I know where I can put rocks. So let's put the rocks over here somewhere. And the rocks go in here. So I'm really excited to actually look at my bench, but right now I have a terrible bout of OCD, and I just want to put things in their place first. I know it's sad, but yeah, that's what you get coming to this channel. So a little bit of you get a little bit of game, and you get a little bit of hopefully some ancient wisdom coming here shortly. I think you'll have fun. Tonight's episode is going to close up the last couple episodes, kind of bring into a call to action almost. Right? The idea, anything I bring up in ancient wisdom on this channel would like to create an atmosphere where I am not one of those channels who just simply provides a lot of information but no way to implement it. It's kind of weird every time I see one of those channels. Like, we got to do this, and then they're like, and you're like, well, how can I do that? And they're like, yeah, however, who knows? Yeah, this one's gonna be tricky. You know what? I know how. This is like my miscellaneous chest. It's fine. It's okay. Let's go take a look at what we can build with this new one. Wow, it's pretty tall. Alright, so standard stuff, of course. And then we get down to here. Still a lot of standard stuff, which is good. I mean, I would hope I don't lose anything. Ooh, there's a little bit more steel, maybe? Maybe. Ah, there's a steel crossbar, steel palmer, steel sword blade, heavy steel palmer, large steel axe. Alright, cool. There's a little bit here. A little bit more than I had before. Alright. Not much more, but still a little bit more. This is good. I don't think I can make my sword just yet. The sword I'm looking for is there's this great sword down here. It's called a basic wrought iron great sword, but it has heavy steel palmer, large steel crossguard, and a large steel sword. Large steel sword. Large. I gotta remember all that as I go back to. Oh. I went off screen for some reason. Okay. Then we go all the way down to the bottom. Ooh. So, heavy pommel, definitely good. I don't have the large pommel, yeah, or a sword. Really pommels? Crossbar, large crossbar. I don't have the large crossbar. Okay. What can I weaponize? Let's see. Arming sword, maybe? Steel sword blade. Can do that. I can do that. And I can do that. So an arming sword. That's 30. If you hit Alt, it takes it down to its base components. My slash is 30 with that thing. It's not bad. What's my mace do? 24. It's difficult to make, but most of this stuff, except for the steel, is pretty in linen strength. God, I don't have much linen strength. I can make it, but I tend to make stuff like that. Okay, let's get into the episode. So, over the past episodes, we've explored ancient wisdom, modern research, and the hard lessons learned in historical failures. So, now it's time we weave all those threads together into a cohesive vision, a blueprint, if you will, for a society that's built on reason, justice, and mutual respect. So in this episode, we'll synthesize our insights, present a strategic roadmap for social change, and explore crucial roles for ethical leadership. So whether that's in our personal lives, our workplaces, or even our digital communities like MMORPGs, we'll discuss how consistent kindness, moral integrity can spark real transformation. We'll also touch on the importance of addressing biases and prejudice as part of our collective progress. So let's begin. As I said, well, we do need a... Well, before we get into the meat of it, I forgot to, I always do this at the end, in the chat, so... Well, not always. I got caught a couple times where I wasn't able to... I didn't do it. I like putting that little more in there. It's an old habit, and as long as I can keep that habit, I'll try to keep that habit. What I'm doing now is I'm gonna drink everything because then it highlights, which is really nice for you, so you don't have to guess on which product or which food is. There's a couple icons that look similar. Essentially, what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way. In such a roundabout way that it was painful. Very painful. Okay, so let's get our traveling clothes on. This is my leather armor setup, except I don't need my chainmail. Out chain. I'll bring that. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm gonna bring that. There we go. And this is tonic. Tonics. So I'm not sure where I'm going. So what do I want to do tonight with everything? Or longbow. Maybe I'll just go to hunt a little bit. Need wool. So hunting doesn't take too much effort, and I will pause throughout it. Oh, that's okay. Alright, let's go hunting. Alright. So let's take a moment to recap the wisdom we've gathered so far. So the ancient philosophies that we've covered are Confucius taught the importance of Ren, which was benevolence. We also looked and reminded us that leadership is serving the people, right? Not subjugating them. It's a very, very key point for Confucius. The Stoics showed us true nobility, which comes from character rather than birth. Modern research studies of emotional intelligence. I'm sorry, there was one others. There's also Buddhism we took a look at. We also took a little bit of look at the Indian ancient philosophies. We looked at the Christian philosophies. We looked at some Islamic philosophies as well, the Islamic Golden Age. So we really went all over the place with our philosophy, and it's important because part of this journey that the channel is hoping you'll join me on, that we create the ability to forge a better future using all of the ancient knowledge, the best of the ancient knowledge, or the ones most pertinent to us. So we did some modern research where studies in emotional intelligence demonstrated that leaders who blend assertiveness with empathy inspire trust and innovation. Meanwhile, behavioral economics highlights that overcoming cognitive biases is crucial for ethical decision making. We also looked at historical lessons such as rigid exclusionary systems, whether based on caste, authoritarian rule, or tiered hierarchies, inevitably crumble under their own weight of injustice. Yet these failures offer invaluable lessons on what not to do. Understanding human behavior was another portion, which are intrinsic biases and collective habits can either promote or hinder change. Recognizing that and addressing these biases is essential in fostering a just, inclusive society. So each insight is a vital piece of the puzzle, right? Together, they show us that if we are to build a society of reason, justice, and mutual respect, we must integrate ethical principles with practical strategies and tackle our own biases along the way. And if you like what I'm doing, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the conversation in the channel or over on X. I waited way too long for that. Okay. Really? I'm just wasting arrows now. There we go. Got him that time. Get it back away from me. I'm blocking right now. I thought he'd get me. There we go. Seems to be charging more. Usually when I have a shield, it's nowhere near as chargy. I went right in there. That was my own fault. You gotta be patient with these animals. Because if you do it right, you won't need to worry about your weapon durability. I'm moving. too far away from them. That's alright. What I'm really looking for is movement, so I'll probably drop a lot of this stuff. Need to increase my tail. So, let's, how do we approach or translate these insights into actionable strategies, right? That's an important factor. Well, let's break it down into a multi-layered approach that combines practical tactics with philosophical principles and a deep understanding of human behavior. Machiavelli and I cannot for the life of me remember there's an Indian philosopher who's sometimes coined the Indian Machiavelli, who lived in ancient India, and he was very wise. But we will be touching a little bit on Machiavelli for sure, in some principles, without even giving him credit, because these are more attuned to his flavor of leadership, or social engineering, if you will. Alright, so let's look at effective communication. Clear and honest communication means sharing information transparently and consistently. So some of the examples, right? With this channel, we go into personal, we go into workplace, and we go into the digital communities itself. So some examples of clear and honest communications. In personal, regular family or community meetings, discusses challenges and brainstorms solutions if you have problems in your area. These are always good things to have, right? Little meetings that are communicative. Don't make them one way. Workplace, you look at routine check-ins, virtual town halls, or feedback loops to ensure that every voice is heard in your company or in your area. Let me give this one more shot. Too far? Yep, too far. At least the axe got a little bit more. Man, he's charging a lot tonight. If I just back up a little bit. Does that help? Even that. Knew I couldn't get 2 swings on him. I didn't back up far enough. I'm back up too far. Yep, I'm backed up too far. Every time he hits me, you see my axe taking damage. And that's never good. Not for what I'm doing tonight. Okay. So what about digital communities? Platforms like Discord or Reddit to facilitate open dialogue and digital storytelling, right? You want to have that back and forth in an MMORPG. One of the things that I always, I don't know, what's a good word? I don't want to say badmouth the MMORPG, but what I don't like about MMORPGs is if I see somebody coming out of the forest, I have to type it into the chat, and to me that's much harder role playing. Ah, crap. There he comes. Really? Usually I'm better than that. Glad I brought 200 arrows. I do have an axe, so I can always... I have plenty of arrows in the forest. I can make arrows, which is unique. There should be a deer up here somewhere. Okay. Bows definitely don't have a good distance in the game. They got a decent distance, but not always. All right, so community building. Let's define it, right? Creating a supportive network where diverse individuals connect, share ideas, and collaborate. So, an organization organize local workshops or online webinars on civil engagement and ethical leadership. Establish community centers or digital hubs where people from various backgrounds work together. What about empowerment through education? Well, let's define it. Providing knowledge, critical thinking skills, and resources to improve lives. Promote lifelong learning through reading clubs, discussion groups, or mentorships, or YouTube channels like mine. There are other channels for sure, so don't think mine's the only channel. But you wanna look for different avenues. Really? Man, I am just screwing up the backup there. It's like I'm too far away. There is a way to just back away just a little bit. Where... Really? It's hard to tell when he's attacking. I got lucky there. That was luck. That was nothing more than luck. Alright. So let's understand human behavior a little bit and overcoming bias. Because all of these things that we're talking about, even if you have the meeting places to do so, people are really coming together, we have to understand about people and their implicit bias. Well, we'll talk about bias. Wow. Yeah, that took a minute. With an axe, and that's all I have, I'm going to just continually attacking. Or I have plenty of hit points, so I'm not too worried about that. I can't take on like 3 boars or 2 boars. The tactics are different when you have different weapons. But in the boar's case, you're going to need a lot of healing potions. Alright. So let's start with our intrinsic tendencies, which are our biases, emotional responses, and collective habits. They can either produce or promote or retard progress, right? Stop progress. That's what retard means, right? Here's how we can address them. So we have individual techniques. We have community and social societal strategies, and then we can leverage the social norms. So the individual techniques, strategies like stereotype replacement, counter stereotype imaging, perspective taking, and mindfulness help individuals recognize and reduce their own implicit biases. When we're looking at community and societal strategies, we're encouraging intergroup contact, we're establishing inclusive educational programs, and we're promoting policies that protect quality and shift social norms. Oh, did I go way too far? Really? Yeah, that time. That was better. It's interesting to see the amount of jitter. I get a decent video card. It's smooth, but there's a little jitter with my myself tonight. I couldn't tell you why. And yes, it takes practice to do this. So if you're wanting to hunt, please be aware that this is not the easiest thing to do. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna waste some durability. Yeah, I'm taking a battle axe. It's not the best thing to do, but it gets the job done. You can bring a normal wood cutting axe, but in this instance, I am trying to get some sapwood so I can just simply craft some arrows, because I'm wasting really good arrows. So let's craft those for a moment. So we can also leverage social norms, right? So public messages and media campaigns that highlight positive, inclusive behaviors can create a culture where prejudice is marginalized. While eliminating bias, we can't completely, let me say it a different way. When eliminating bias completely, it may be impossible to do that. God, I can't even talk tonight. Even reducing its influence can lead to significant improvements in fairness and social cohesion. And this is a key step toward building the kind of society we're envisioning, right? Kind, just. And I did that to myself. Yeah. Okay. So what are the underlying philosophical principles? Well, reason and critical thinking. We want to use logic and evidence to guide actions and continuously evaluate assumptions. We're looking at justice and fairness. We need to advocate for systems that protect the rights of individuals and ensure everyone receives their due. Mutual respect and inclusion. I hate when it does this. Did I not hit that? Okay. Mutual respect and inclusion. We want to recognize the inherent value of every individual, ensuring that all voices are heard. Is it not doing? Yeah, let's put that away, maybe. There we go. Okay. This integrative strategy is not merely theoretical. It's meant to be actionable. Every conversation, decision, and act of kindness contributes to a broader transformation. So, what's the role of leadership? Well, leadership is the engine that drives social transformation. Effective leadership isn't about wielding power. It's about inspiring others with consistent kindness, moral integrity, and the courage to act ethically. So we have leading by example, right? When leaders demonstrate ethical behavior day after day, they create this culture that values fairness and trust. Consider how Nelson Mandela he redefined leadership in post-apartheid South Africa. His personal commitment to forgiveness and reconciliation set a powerful tone for the nation emerging from the oppression. Similarly, Jacinda Ardern, Ardern, has been celebrated for her empathetic and decisive leadership during crisis, such as the Christchurch shootings, where her approach of openness and vulnerability inspired nationwide unity. We look at moral courage. True leadership often requires standing up against the status quo, even when it's unpopular. So what does that mean? Well, look at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. exemplified this by challenging discriminatory laws and practices with unwavering moral courage, reshaping public attitudes on race and equality. On a smaller scale, local community leaders who speak out against bullying or discrimination pave the way for more inclusive environments, whether in schools or neighborhoods. And it's just not about speaking out. Dr. Martin Luther King did more than just speak out, right? So the second example I give, bullying, we got to ask questions. We got to use the Socratic method. We got to understand what is being bullied, why it's being bullied. We have to understand what the bully's motivation is. We want all this information. Well, why do we want all this information? Because just like we say, we need to be inclusive in the I can't believe I got that out. You got to be inclusive, right? In everybody. Wow, that took some damage. That was not good. I'll just get back down. There's nothing from there for me. Okay. There's a certain point at which I will fall if I don't sprint. So I need to find that little sweet spot and sprint. There we go. So application across contexts. Well, ethical leadership takes many forms and tailored to the context I was just talking about, right? We have personal. Cultivate a habit of self-reflection and continuous improvement. For instance, if you notice a biased remark, acknowledge it, learn from it, and strive to do better next time. In the workplace, encourage a culture where diverse perspectives are valued and ethical decision-making is rewarded. Companies like Patagonia emphasize transparent, inclusive practices that drive not only innovation, but they also inspire employees to uphold shared values. I should have came the other way. I forgot. I'm like wasting my good arrows here. If you ever wondered, the arrow progression is from left to right, top left to bottom right. I learned that from somebody, and I'm forever grateful because that would have been some pattern. I noticed there was a pattern, but I didn't to begin with. Again, looking at the MMORPGs, and you are crafting or knowing, well, you're getting information essentially, so you're getting information using it. So digital communities on in online spaces like MMORPGs, guild leaders or clan leaders or any leader who enforce fair conduct and mediate conflicts set standards that enhance both virtue and real world societal values. A moderator who swiftly addresses hate speech or just any speech that is just uncouth, right? In an online forum, for example, helps establish a culture of respect that transcends digital realms. So people talking shit, right? Or giving the business, or talking trash talkers, right? We've all been there. We play too many video games. You're here with me. As a leader, you go, it's cool. You want to be the best. It's cool that you want to, say you're the best. Everything to that, but you don't have to drag other people down while you do it. You don't have to disparage people by calling them names, right? And that's how we challenge people who are rude, right? We craft that relationship with rude. Today, people would be hard pressed to understand what is rude and what is not rude. In my opinion, people would be like, "Oh, I'm doing it because I want to, because you can't stop me. I have the right to do it." Right? Yeah, you notice that these wooden arrows don't do as much damage, but wouldn't have any 40 worth of archery or bow use. It doesn't matter. Really? You gotta hit them though. There we go. Honestly, I hope nobody finds my hunting grounds, because these hunting grounds are awesome. All right, so let's look at some real world examples, right? So even Barack Obama consistently framed leadership as a form of service, emphasizing empathy and inclusivity. His focus on diplomacy and compromise shifted public discourse toward a more respectful and thoughtful dialogue. He tried, to his credit, he tried to bring people together. He wasn't a trash talker, right? He did, when he disagreed, and leaders will disagree. It's not a if, it's a when, right? Inherently, if you have a leader and you disagree, you should do it respectfully. Until such a time where disrespect is warranted. I didn't think he'd get me on that last one, honestly. Alright. So, Muhammad Yunus, or Yunus, was the founder of Brahmin Bang. I'm not familiar. I did a little research on ChatGPT. So it said he revolutionized economic opportunity through microfinance by providing financial services to the poor. He demonstrated that ethical leadership and inclusive economic policies have transformative social and economic impacts. Local leaders in cities like Copenhagen are reimagining urban spaces by prioritizing public transport, sustainable houses, and green spaces. Their commitment to community well-being sets the model for how ethical, visionary leadership can directly improve quality of life. Leaders who embody these values do more than manage. They create ripples that transform their communities. Their constant kindness and moral integrity serve as a beacon, guiding others to follow suit and foster a more inclusive innovative society. Well, I can name a couple more, right? Well, can you? I mean, meaning in the chat, please give me your one of the leaders who you looked up to, who really embodied the values that we're talking about tonight. I think George Washington was a really good one as far as leader. I think General George Patton was a good. MacArthur, another. And it doesn't have to be a civilian, right? It could be well, everybody has an individual, civilian or not. What am I leaving behind? Bone fragments? That's fine by me. Don't need it. I don't need these. Don't need those. I hate to get rid of resin. Resin's one of those things that you shouldn't want to get rid of. It's harder to come by in this world. The wool's really what I'm after. Really? Man, I get my crap kicked out of me. I should have waited until I drink. That's alright. It'll go pretty fast. Alright. So let's talk about our vision. Let's envision what a society of reason, justice, and mutual respect would look like. Because I think everybody would agree that's listening, and put it in the comments if you think we already have it. But here's what we're striving for, right? We're looking for society of reason, justice, and mutual respect. Really? My skinning is so high that I'm getting a lot of decent stuff. All right. Look at Scandinavian societies. Countries like Sweden, Norway, and Denmark consistently rank high in the social equality and quality of life. Their inclusive governance, strong social safety nets, and transparent public policies illustrate that a commitment to fairness and collective welfare leads to a thriving community. Look at digital communities. Platforms like GitHub and open source projects demonstrate the power of collaboration, mutual respect, and decentralized decision making. These digital spaces serve as a microcosm for participatory democracy, where every contributor is valued. And on the development side, you really got to rein in the police, because they will attempt to just absolutely try to really? Again, I thought I locked out. And axes are slow. Make me go through all my potions. Wow, that arrow is blue to. I didn't think I could get him from there, but it's always worth a shot. Not on that time. All right. So, what about local initiatives? from local neighborhood councils to cooperative organizations, grassroots efforts around the world show that local action can lead to significant change. These initiatives prove that when people unite around shared values, they can transform their communities from the ground up. Man, that arrow did not fly exactly where I wanted. Really? I mean, I know they're wooden arrows. Come on. Got the one. Not gonna get the other. Are you insanely serious? I did not expect that to hit. That's gonna go on a short, I'm sure. Holy mackerel. That was a distant hit, too. I'm impressed. Yes. I tried to beat him. Oh, wow, let him way too much there. There we go. I'm glad I'm wasting arrows that are not that are easily replaced. Wrought iron arrows are pretty easily replaced. However, they gotta get the falling animals to mesh with the environment a little bit better. Where did that guy go? Yeah, I'm not gonna get that shot ever again. That was an amazing shot. Alright, let's see. Real quick. Move my notes. So let's define our vision, right? So reason. We need the ability to think logically and base decisions on evidence is essential for progress. Justice means we ensure fairness for all, protecting rights and creating equal opportunities through adaptive legal systems. And then we have mutual respect. Mutual respect means acknowledging the inherent worth of every individual and actively including diverse voices in shaping society. When I say diverse voices, I mean diversity of background. Together, these ideals form the vision where society and every individual is empowered, where decisions are made collectively, and where ethical leadership guides every action. And what do we mean by decisions are made collectively? Well, no one person should be making or ruled by fiat, so to speak. Right? So we want to get together. If somebody doesn't want to participate, that's on them. We give them the opportunity to. There was a proposition on the ballot in my hometown where it really didn't affect it, but farmers, right? But they let everybody vote on it. It kind of weirded me out because I was partially affected, not fully affected. There was a little effect. I was affected a little bit. And how was I affected? Well, it was fencing, right? But farmers aren't exactly the richest people in the world, right? So some of the farms that you would want to fence would have fencing that goes around, a lot of acres. And if anybody is a homeowner, they know fencing worth its salt, even the cheap fencing, is expensive. Wow, he hit so. I can only get one swing. That's interesting. All right. So when we're looking, I had a thought, and I was putting it into AI to see how relevant it was, but and let me know your opinion. We have to start somewhere. So what do we do? Yeah, individually we can go out and we can be on right? We can have reasoned decisions. We can have all these things, but there's still going to be people who are going to. We want a high trust society. Right? I mean, that's basically what I think. What everybody. And I brought up today, talking to a friend. I was like, "Hey, we have a high trust society," and he goes, "Where?" And he goes, "When we drive, we trust people to stay in the lanes and follow the rules." I mean, that's not a that one area is the trust of the society, right? It's open, it didn't run, but that's fine. Another one somewhere near me. Usually there's 3. I was gonna say there's no way I'm getting that shot. He is coming right there. When you get used to patterns and such, you'll be able to use your bow more effectively. But yeah, high trust society is literally right. That's in the United States because anywhere you're expecting other people to follow the rules of the road, and you trust that they'll stay in their lane, that they won't swerve and hit you, right? So there's that in and of itself is a high trust area of society. It's still not the high trust that everybody wants to live in. For example, back in the day, and I use back in the day as because I have anecdotal conversations. There used to be a day when my parents would go for a weekend and keep all the windows and doors open in their house. Nobody would take anything. There's no theft. They would find nothing missing. Neighbors would look out for your house. Not that they would look there all the time, but they weren't exactly how should I say it? They weren't leaving alone, but at the same time they weren't just sitting there watching your house, right? So there's a lot of trust that we want to build through the 3 vision. I mean, the 3 components of our vision: reason, justice, and mutual respect. Well, there's a lot of talk today, and I think we're at a what's a good crossroads with public education, especially. We teach our kids, and this was brought up, and I think this is not for debate really, but the public education system was made a long time ago. The way they crafted the institution itself, and it basically is just deriving people who have an education that can read, write, and do arithmetic, right? Simple math, usually. Some excel at math, but they still have to do all the components of the curriculum. And they get turned off pretty quickly. At least I was. I didn't do things I wasn't good at. Some people would say, well, there's some things you need to strive to correct. I disagree with that. I think the things we strive for is really, you guys just want to live. There we go. I'll take all those hits. Man, that took a minute for him to hit me. That was weird. That second one was expected, but The third one was weird because I was totally blocked. Okay. So those are some of the things that we wanna look at, right? And how do we craft those? Well, we need to get together with people, right? We need to understand the, well, not understand. I mean, let me say it a different way. In order to implement the society where we want to live, there has to be some type of societal guilt. And I'll tell you one thing that I don't think is the cancel culture. This cancel culture doesn't give the opportunity for redemption. We have to provide redemption at the beginning. Well, throughout. But we're going to have to do a lot of redeeming, right? We're going to have to do a lot of, what's it? A good word. We're going to have to do a lot of forgiving. We gotta allow people the ability to change, right? If we don't give the ability to change, then we are putting people into a fight and flight type of scenario. And that won't be good for change, right? And nobody likes change, by the way. We like to kind of be in our own area. And we definitely don't change. However, we have to change, in my opinion, society. And I hope I give you a couple paths to change society as a whole. You can only do so much from the corner of the world you are in. But there are ways of trying to change society to reach millions or even hundreds of millions of people. Well, one is social media, right? It's part of the way that we can help craft certain things, society in general, right? One of the things I did think about was, could I? Just gonna go further. Oh my god! I gotta be careful in this shot, guys. There we go. Really? You attacked pretty fast. Hoping my axe would go up a little bit, honestly. I don't. Oh, I do have this. Wow. So I just ran out of my weapons. What happened? I'll take an animal eye, so use. I'm pretty much out of weapons, so done hunting. I just realized that. So, what would you plan on, or how would you change society as we see it today? I mean, the core central theme of society, where people that are rude, for lack of a better word, would be not ostracized. That's not the word I'm looking for. But looked at, in a light that is unfavorable. Like, you don't want to have these behaviors, or allow some behaviors in your society. What's another high trust society? I would say the Japanese society is a high trust society. What other one would be a high trust? South Korea would be a high trust society. Polish society would be a Romanian, I think, would be a high trust society. I'm not sure so much on the Romanian, but I know the Polish one. I know the Japanese one. As far as I knew, Thailand had a high trust society. So put in the chat, what do you think would be a high trust society? Perhaps one we can build on. And I can hear some people saying, you want to go back to, a time where women were oppressed, and insert every negative comment. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to find a good moral path forward that sometimes is outlined by the deeds we do. Sometimes, well, it is always actually, but we use the ancient philosophers to craft and mold that society. For example, Confucianism is about selflessness. It's about servitude to one's society. We don't really have that. There, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people who do what do you call it? Volunteer. There's a lot of people who volunteer, sure. And that's to throw no shade on anybody who's trying to build these societies. But for those of us who look to MMORPGs, you really have a high trust society for the most part. Everybody I've met in Pax Dei, for example, everybody has been top notch. They've been very polite. We've done things for each other out of the kindness of our hearts. Right? The society, as far as I was concerned, I don't believe anybody lied to me, and I lied to nobody. I think our communication was proper. Right? So there are instances I have to look around every once in a while. I don't have a weapon, so I'd probably get a pointy stick fashioned. But it doesn't have a great block. All right, let me sum up today's episode, because there's a lot of good stuff here, but I really want to hear from the community. I really want to know your feedback on reason, justice, and mutual respect. I think mutual respect kind of houses trust. I think it's very important. I think our path moving forward, it requires this of us. And I'm hoping that I can make a positive change by providing these ancient philosophies, these ancient teachings. And I hope that everyone knows that education doesn't need to be administered from a quote-unquote teacher that's certified by a college. A teacher can be anybody. Life is a teacher in many respects. So let's wrap up the series. Let's remember that the journey toward a society of reason, justice, and mutual respect is challenging, but incredibly worthwhile. I always remark it as I want the Star Trek society. In either TNG is where I really the Next Generation for those of not Star Trek fans. That was a kind of a world where I would be like, wow, this is really cool. And unsponsored spot, I need to take a sip of Zevia. So we learned about failures and learned that failures are not inherently negative. They're invaluable learning experiences that help us avoid future mistakes. I love mistakes. Mistakes grow. We grow with mistakes. We don't stagnate with mistakes. Much like a student learns from error, societies can learn from their past failures to forge a better path forward. We don't have to focus on a single country's failures or a single historical empire's failures or republic's failures. We look at everybody and we say, we're never going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're going to be better than that. How are we going to be better? We're not going to make the same mistake. So by integrating ancient wisdom, modern strategies, and understanding human behavior, including overcoming our biases, but humans have biases. We don't. We have a roadmap for creating lasting change. Whether you're a community team leader or a team manager or simply a concerned citizen, your actions matter. Every conversation, every decision, every act of kindness contributes to the broader transformation. Think of the polite or the gentleman robber. They're very polite. They're robbing, they're stealing, but they're polite about it. They respect you as a human. They're just taking it. It's a trope. It's a comedic trope. But it makes sense. If people think about it this way, if police did the job properly, that can be a whole episode. But let's say I'm a gentleman. I'm robbed. Then the police catch me. Can I go? Okay, got me. And the police say, well, I gotta take you downtown. We gotta book you. Okay, no worries. Not fighting, not saying anything that I did wrong. The police are just there treating me like a human. I'm treating them like humans. They got quote unquote caught. I'm not getting out of it, so I'll just argue it in court. Now, albeit laws and justice, we have to have another conversation about that. That's not what I'm saying. Examples. What if that occurred? And the justice system was just and fair and didn't crucify criminals for the smallest thing. Some things are definitely worth the crucifixion. However, that's for a jury to decide. In the United States, we have a jury of our peers, and we have a justice system. So long as the justice system is fair and doesn't punish people with the process either. So you can, so again, trust society where everything is equal and everything is hunky dory. The criminal, especially one that is a nonviolent criminal, that maybe somebody made a mistake, hey, you made your mistake, I need to take it. Right? You can't just let you sit around and continue to make a mistake or continue to violate the law. But having the conversations is the important in my scenario. Wouldn't you want a society instead of accusatory? If a police officer comes up and somebody complained about somebody else, well, the officer should see the crime. Do I see evidence of the crime? Let me investigate the crime, not the person that's standing in front of that. Now, what if the guy or girl gets away? Okay. All right. So long as it's not violent, I think you have an opportunity for civility. So now we've seen the practical tactics, like effective communication, community building, and empowerment through education that all can drive social change. And we recognized that ethical leadership is built on consistent guidance, moral integrity, and the courage to challenge the status quo, which is the engine that propels us forward. It's important to acknowledge that biases and prejudices, if left unaddressed, can slow the process by fueling discrimination and division. Absolutely. But by confronting both as individuals and through collective social structural strategies, we clear the path for society where every person is valued and every reason and valued and reason and justice prevail. In our final vision series, we see a society where inclusivity and ethical governance are not just as aspirational ideas, but everyday realities. A society where communities, workplaces, and even digital platforms thrive because every individual contributes the best version of themselves, free from the shackles of bias, or lies, or judgment. Right? Well, you can't be free of judgment, but there are ways to communicate the judgment, right? To be fair. Before we close, please like, comment, and share the show with your friends. That's probably the best way to keep going. And pop a comment in the comment section about tonight's episode, about any episode, or an episode you would like to see. Your support helps us spread these important ideas and hopefully inspires, it drives the inspiration of more people to join the conversation about building a better world. Well, thank you for joining me on this journey through the foundations of social change. Remember, understanding history and learning from both its successes and failures is the key to forging a better future. Until next time, keep reflecting, stay curious, and lead with purpose.
With every step, a lesson learned. From fire's heat to the fields I've turned. The blade and bow, the forge and flame. I sharpen my skills, I play the game. Each day brings a challenge I must face. I train my hands with careful grace. From alchemy's art to the hunter's way, I'll find the strength to seize the day. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. From the herbs I find to the iron I mold, each lesson learned is a story told. The stars above, they guide my hand. As I hone my craft, I take my stand. In the quiet woods, in the mountains chill, I push myself, I shape my will. With each new tool and every lore, I'm stronger now than I was before. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. The road is long, tasted defeat, I felt the sting, but I rise again with each new spring. For knowledge is power, and wisdom the key. I'm forging my path, I'm breaking free. The skill of survival, the will to thrive. In a world where the strong survive, I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight.